To get started, I start by mixing some red, yellow, and orange. I add a little more orange just to get the color that I like. Feel free to mix whatever colors make you happy. I then add a little bit of blue to half of my orange. You really shouldn't add too much so that the mixture starts to look blue. You just need enough to make it a little darker and more cool when compared to the purple orange. Here I added a little bit too much, but I'm just going to work with what I have because I don't like to waste. I did decide to lighten up the color to make it more brown by adding some white. In order to create a string of color, I'm going to gradually add some white until I have the colors that I like, which is orange, a kind of a darker brown, a lighter brown, and then I have in the corner a dark blue, which I'll use for my background color, and a light blue for my foreground color. So as always, I'm going to block in my subject. I'm mixing a little bit of mineral spirits with some of my orange, and I'm going to draw a vertical line so that I can accurately judge my angles. Once I mark where I want the height and the width to be, I will block in the shape of the brown paper bag. The drawing isn't perfect because I'm eyeballing my measurements, my posture, and the orientation of my drawing. This is one of the things that gets better as you go along. So follow your heart. If you want to use a ruler and measure out the orientation of your sketch, go for it. To start this painting, I'm going to color in the darkest cool shadows on my palette. So I'm using the darkest cool brown that I have just to the left of my orange, and I'm going to color in the darkest parts of the brown paper bag. Next, we're going to work with the warmer sections of the shaded side. To start this, I will establish the light halftones on the lit side of the bag, and I'm working on these colors simultaneously so that I can look at the value and the relationship and bring the illusion of a brown paper bag to life. So what this means is I'm working on my halftones and I'm working on my darker, cool colors at the same time to make sure that my painting actually looks like a brown paper bag under a direct light. So you're really going to have an eye for values. Here I'm going to continue to work back and forth between lights and darks until I feel that the bag is completely colored in or blocked in. I'm using my judgment to look between the warm and the cool colors, as well as the light and the dark values on my painting. So if you have a brown paper bag in front of you, you can use that as your reference as to where you will place your warm and cool or light and dark colors. So while you're painting, just keep in mind the relative differences of the tone, which can be hard to see, but as we practice, it'll be easier to differentiate. Once the bag is fully blocked in, and I've established the relationships between the values, the tones, and the temperature of the colors, I'm going to put a background. For today's background, I chose the color blue. For your painting, you can choose any color that you want for your background and your foreground. Just a rule of thumb, your background should be a shade darker than your foreground. So I'm finishing up. This is the foreground. The blue that I did earlier is the background. So this foreground color is a lighter shade of the background color. And here I'm just coloring in my cast shadow. And there you have it, an oil painting of a brown paper bag. Thank you and enjoy.